And we are back. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the live stream. I heard myself there briefly. I think on Yuri's side there, but anyway, that's all been sorted. Welcome back, everyone. We're here this time for the qualifying session ahead of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Once again, I'm JW97, and once again, I'm joined by Rob.
Yes, hello, guys. Welcome, and we're here for the qualifying session. It should be a pretty good one. Practice was interesting. It looked like Mercedes are gonna have an advantage, but you never know. Things can change. And in Hungary, it's a short track. It's a high downforce track. Anything can happen here.
Yep, indeed. Of course, the one thing we need to bear in mind as well is the fact that Roland Motrin has a 5-place grid penalty. So wherever he ends up in today's qualifying session, he'll drop 5 places back. But anyway, we're getting ready for the qualifying session. As you can see, it's going to be bone dry for the entirety of it. So no rain at all for qualifying. So without further ado, let's get into Q1. Leave your predictions on who you think will go out in Q1 in the stream chat. I know a couple of people have already done so. The likes of George Roke, who initially forgot to put a 6th team down, but eventually got there in the end. He says 2 Manners, 2 Williams, and an Alpha and a Renault. Frank Ogama says both Manners, both Williams, a Haas and a Renault. And Chris Chatfield says 2 Manners, 2 Williams, a Haas and an Alpha. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into Q1. We're in the garages now. And as you can see, we're in the cockpit at the moment of Rosetta Martinez's Manor. And he'll be hoping to go out very, very soon. We'll be seeing who'll be the first to go out onto the racetrack. Of course, all 22 cars go out on this first lap, and then just like with GP2, the odd one will get left behind for the next lap, and so on and so on. But the first man out on the track is Jared Fosbury.
Would you like to hear my opinion, by the way, Joke? Is I know this is going to be a radical prediction, but I think one of the Manners or one of the Williamses will go through the Q2. Which one, though? I can tell you that much.
Okay, very interesting. We have to see, of course. Fosbury's the first on the track for Haas, and he just makes his way through the right. And the man, of course, will be looking to put behind the disappointment of Silverstone and Hockenheim and move on here at Budapest. Oddly enough, with him, though, every points that he's scored this season, he's always had a time penalty. He'll be hoping to get that one off his resume very, very soon, if he's able to score any more points before the season comes to a close. Of course, obviously, this is the only season you'll see this Haas livery, of course, because of the fallout they had with CrossFit Jesus himself, William Story.
Yeah. Well, about Fosbury, there's the thing, guys. Teammate Chatfield, he got his first GP2 win here, and he also finished 2nd here last season in GP2, so he's got the experience around Hungary. He's quick here, and Fosbury will be hoping to make his mark by beating his teammate in the fight. And that could be tricky given the experience and record Chatfield has here at Hungary. But we'll go, enough for me about that. Fosbury will begin his first lap.
Indeed, he'll go down the pit straight. Start the lap now then. So we're going to take a look at a lap then of this racetrack that's been around Formula 1 for a very long time, must be said. And given the rumours in real life that it could be around until 2037, Silverstone length contract, if you ask me. It's probably going to be around for a very long time. But anyway, he makes his way up towards turn 2 now then. This long sweeping left-hander, which is quite a lot of people in the past in the OC. Through turn 3 we go, using a bit of that curb on the outside there before making his way up towards this very quick left-hander, but very easy to understeer. Through the long sweeping right-hander, which we've seen quite a few crashes in the past from the OC as well, because it's very easy to understeer through there. Into the chicane now then. Obviously a brilliant test of the suspension. Through the S's we go, through the left, then through the right, and then into the very quick, the very flat out left-hander before heading off the brakes for a tad bit through this right-hander, using as much of the curb on the inside and outside as possible. Out of the second sector, 54.818 there for Fosbury. Round the right-hander we go, where Lopez and Carr had their crash last season. Into the second to last corner through this long swooping left-hander, which when I did IFMC was a bit of a pain in the bum for the original track.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Through the final corner then goes Jared Fosbury down the pit straight. What is the benchmark time going to be? It's a 1:16.773. Here comes Lopez.
That's pretty good. Only 3 times behind Lopez. That's amazing. And Tomaselli now goes quickest.
Vaderi crosses the line. A very good time there for Tomaselli, Mr. Said. Vaderi behind Fosbury that time by 1.2 off of Tomaselli. As Carr now goes to the top there. Titkoff 6th position. Here comes Laura Chung in the
full second in front of his teammate, but Chung will be next to cross the line. And that's a bad time, man.
A good time there for Chung. Here comes George Roke across the line. P6 for him. And he also held up his teammate Motrin, who still somehow managed to find some time on him. Probably used a little bit of his slipstream. He goes 4th. Here comes Rosetta Martinez out of the final corner. Martinez to cross the line. 10th place for him. As De Rosa goes into 7th place.
Uncle Gamble will be next to Luca's hands. We got a yellow at the first corner.
Who is it? And it was the yellow 4, and there's a car on the side there, and it's Roke.
It's Roke as he crashed into his teammate. Yes, he has! Oh no.
Rule 1 Racing Point. Rule 1, never hit your teammate. And unfortunately, Motrin has done that with George Roke at the first corner there. So Roke has got damage, and he's not going to be the best pleased with the man who will still be teammates with next season. So he's going to have a few words. Willows, meanwhile, goes to the top by 700 of a second ahead of Almarcar. Campana goes 14th for the Williams. Chatfield 17th. Held up Gal a little bit, who goes into 5th position. Jay McKenzie across the line to go into 8th place in the Renault. And a few more cars did times there. Q-Fox 17th, Gomez 13th.
Sontag is the last one left. He's gone 18th faster.
So they are the first laps done with. So the bottom 6 at this point in time are Q-Park, Sontag, Campana, Titkov, Chatfield and Martinez. Willow's currently at the top by 700 a second. Byrne, meanwhile, in 3rd position for Renault. And let's not forget about Byrne, of course. He nearly got pole here last season in Q3. Yeah,
if you know, Jerry, we're just talking about it after practice in the chat here. Obviously, you guys gonna hear. But looks like Byrne, it was a good omen for him. He's doing very well in Q1, and he'll be hoping. He's surely through at this point. He'll be hoping to carry that speed into Q2 and 3 as well.
Maybe Byrne likes this track. Who knows, really? But anyway, he currently lies in Q3. Whether he'll be able to keep it up, we'll have to wait and see. But George Roke, because of the damage, he was able to quickly get back into the garage and get into the T-car. And he's already going out there. So he'll be the first to do a lap in these runs. It'll be a while before we see the next set of cars as a result. So Roke will be on his own for quite a bit. So out on the track he goes now then.
You'll have to be careful, though, because who knows when these guys are going to come out on track, and if Roke isn't quick enough on his outlap, he might be suffering from traffic on his flyer.
And given that he's 14th as well, he'll be hoping that isn't the case, because that is a bit of a threat for him to be eliminated in the first part of qualifying, and he doesn't want to be reminded of the last time he got knocked out in Q1, which is back in France. So through the chicane now then goes George Roke, as he will now make his way through the S's. And just looking on the graphic there on the right there, on the track map, to see if there's any movement going on in the pit lane at this point in time. Everybody's still got pit next to their names on the timing tower on the left-hand side. As Roke now approaches, well, he's come out of the end of the second sector. He's now into the third sector, approaching the end of the circuit, and he'll be hoping that there'll be nobody at the end of the pit lane by the time he starts his lap. Through the second to last corner he goes, as he'll now make his way through the final corner and onto the pit straight. Now then will go the 4-time race winner, and the man, of course, who will be remaining at Racing Point for next season. As now Roke starts his lap, heading his way down the pit straight, and luckily for him, there's no traffic on the exit. There was a bit of traffic that came out, but luckily we're too far away from Roke.
Yeah, he's got that space between those guys. He's in front of that Ferrari, and sufficiently behind 2 other guys in front that he won't be impeded. As he goes for turn 2, good line there, and got on the throttle early. That's what you need to do here. As he goes flat out free. Took some curb on exit, but that's not a bad thing. He had a good line there, as Roke has actually missed out a little bit on improvement in Sector 1 by 6/100 a second.
Only 600ths off, so he could still pull it back in the last 2 sectors. We'll have to wait and see on that, as he now makes his way around the right-left chicane there. Obviously a test of the suspension.
That was a very aggressive line on entry, I gotta say, but it could have rewarded him with the lap time he needs.
Through the left-hander, as he now makes his way through the medium speed right-hander. Let's see what his second sector is like. And he's 2 tenths down on his personal best now in the second sector, so it doesn't look like he's going to improve. He'll be hoping that
looks like
maybe
he'll be impeding that Ferrari Laura Chunk soon enough.
Unless Chung can get him on the pit straight, which she might be able to, because she's very close now to the back of his car. And given the straight line speed the Ferrari has, it might be possible. Although, having said that...
You know, look at this. We got 2 cars fighting right in front of Roke. He's been unable to improve. It's Fosbury holding up on the Mercedes of Almarcar.
That's Lopez. It's the number 3 car.
It's Lopez. My bad. Yeah, it is Franco Lopez who's being held up in a minute.
They are the next people to start a lap, of course, because there was nobody around when George started his lap except these 2. Fosbury and Lopez, who are holding each other up, have started the next laps, along with Chung, who I don't know is probably being held up by George Roach, so she might not be able to get an improvement. And she's
judging by the mini-map, I don't think she's been able to pass him there, so looks like this lap won't be it for her. But I don't think it's a big deal, because she should make it through no issue, even with this lap.
Have to see, of course, because she is down in 9th position ahead of, ironically,
anyway, we got 10 minutes on the clock. Yeah, Judd Fosbury, who's had a mega first lap there. I think it'll be hard even for him to improve on it. But Fosbury, he might find himself safe with that one, as now Lopez will be trying to pass him in towards here, but unsuccessfully so.
Have to see how everybody's second laps is, because we do see typically here in the top class, of course, the second laps we usually see a lot of improvement. So we'll have to wait and see on that. As Fosbury now then makes his way through the final corner. I saw in the background that Chung was still stuck behind Rose, so she looks like she's not going to be able to improve. Fosbury, as expected, doesn't improve. Same with Lopez. Chung, as expected,
same with Chung there. Yeah, 6 stands down. Campano will be impeding Roland Motrin here. Here goes the Hungarian. Obviously, he can improve. And if he overtakes, that could ruin Campana's lap as Tomasei finishes his 400s down. As Armarca could go quickest to this one, but he misses out on an improvement at 81 thousandths of a second. That was tight. And now Chet will be next to cross the line with Toro behind him. There's yellow at turn 1. And Campana and Motrin have crashed. Motrin once again involved in a turn 1 collision here. But Campana, who was on a flying lap, let's not forget.
Yep, so more collisions on the first laps here then. For these guys, clearly traffic being an issue when it comes to getting qualifying laps in, and ironically these two finished the lap. But luckily, as we saw with George Rowe, they should be able to get in their spare cars pretty quickly.
Yeah, indeed.
Because there is unlimited spare cars in this, by the way. I know that Rowe had a spare car, but this is Grand Prix 4.
Catalan made that overtake under yellows, but it's not the racer. He's not going to get a penalty for it as Kupok improves. But only to go 18th fastest. He's behind Titkov. And Federi, meanwhile, goes 15th. Willows goes to the top. He improves on his best time.
Yep, he's 1/10 ahead of Carr, improves on his best time at this point in time. Garma goes up to 5th. Looks like he got a bit of stretching in there from the McLaren. We now look at Miklos Gal across the line. He goes up to 5th.
He's improved. So yeah, good effort there. Red Bull are looking competitive, I'd say. As Rita Martinez will cross the line next, he improves, but stays in last place as he is impeding Gabriel Gomez behind him.
At turn 1. We got another yellow at turn 1, I think.
A new one?
Yeah, another one. And it's De Rosa this time.
He must have had a problem there. No, he's crashed with Gamba.
I'm pretty sure the mistake rate for qualifying probably doesn't work that well for Q1. Let's put it that way. So
yeah, when there's so many cars on track, the field will definitely be crowded. And that didn't go well for Kirschman.
These are not mistake rate crashes. None of these have been.
Well,
you sure?
No, they are just hitting each other for some reason.
Right.
Jeez.
Okay, well, anyway,
I'm trying to see if I could change something for Q2. Like
right.
these didn't have, like, in the race stream it shouldn't happen, but maybe I'll change something for Q2.
Okay, well, anyway, that's that then. So we've had 3 crashes down at the first corner. Here comes Felix Sontag now then. He was on an improvement, but he seemed to have lost time
in sector 3, yeah, almost 2 tenths down at the end of it all. And in the drop zone currently we have Maxim Titkov very close to safety in that manner. So my prediction from earlier almost coming true there. Dari Kupok in 18th, not good session for him thus far, but he's got time to improve, get himself safe. With Felix Sontag in 19th. Chris Chatfield, that's a surprise down in P20. How far down? He's 1.2 seconds down on teammate Fosbury. So a man who won here in GP2 and finished second a season after. It's not looking good for him at the moment. Lincoln Pandit's at 31st. Rosita Martinez not too far down in P22 and last.
So anyway, and no, it's not possible for collision to get grid penalties for collisions in qualifying. We don't really look at qualifying. It's mainly in the races where you get the penalties. So let's just answer a question to Jamie in the stream chat there. But Roland Motrin has come back out, by the way, whilst we were talking there. I don't know if the car he made a collision with earlier has gone back out on the track as well. Was it a Williams he got held up by? Because if it is, there is a Williams in front. I'm not 100%
Well, Campana
sure.
was involved in that contact.
Campana's just gone back out, actually, and that was Sontag who was in front there of Motrin, just realised. So, Motrin now then comes around the final turn, and of course, wherever he ends up in today's qualifying session, he will, of course, drop 5 places back, because, of course, he's got that penalty for the collision he had with Thomas Elliott the last race at Hockenheim. As Motrin now
looks like he's gone out just in front of the Haas there. Could have been some traffic, but thankfully not. And that wasn't the Haas. It looked like from the side view, it was actually the Mercedes of Armarca.
I'm going to say the Haas is black. So
yeah, I was just looking at the front wing real quick, and the shiny Mercedes front wing. I confused it for a second with the Haas one.
If it was the 2020 Mercedes, I would have forgiven you a bit because they do have the same color scheme. But
yeah.
It's not 2020
But you know what?
yet.
You know what I was saying, Joe. The front wing on that Mercedes looks very shiny, and it got me confused with the Haas for a brief second there.
Okay, well, anyway, back to the action. Mottram was up on his personal best in the first sector there.
Yeah, indeed it was.
See what his second sector is like. He currently finds himself
He
in
goes for turn 11, very fast corner. He's carried a lot of speed through it, and to prove that, he's almost 2 tenths down. 2 tenths up, I should say. Sorry, in the second sector. So he had a little bit of a slow line out of 12. Yeah.
He did lose a little bit of time though in the second sector, so we'll have to see if that comes back to bite him in the last sector. And he now comes around.
Well, let's see what he can do here. Mottram round off his lap. And where can he place himself? The Hungarian. 7th. He's got in front of Lopez.
Yep. Who was that him behind him anyway as well? Because there was a Mercedes.
No, that was Carl.
It was Carl, wasn't it? I remember now.
See, now you're the one who got confused. So
Kenzie was up in the first sector there, but he's now down in the second sector, so he's obviously lost some time somewhere.
Yeah, but only by a 10th. He can definitely make it up here. If he gets a good line for 13th here, and now on the run up to turn 14, the last corner, exit is critical because it's followed by a long straight, and even on the end of a lap, you can still find plenty of time here.
Not able to improve that time by. As now we look at Roku, who is on an improvement. He is down in 14.
Currently P14. He is safe, but just about. He'll be hoping for a bigger cushion, which you could get now if he improves. He goes up into 12th place.
Parner's on an improvement. He's down in the drop zone at this point in time. I'm wondering for a lot of these guys whether this will be the final lap.
He's going to need to find over 7 tenths if he wants to get the safety. Let's see if he can pull it off. Here comes Campana heading across the line. Goes the American.
16.
And it's up in 16th place. So close. No, he's actually in the safe zone.
He is. He is in the safe zone. Catalan has now dropped himself in the drop zone. Laura Chung's on improvement. She goes up into 5th. So an improvement there for Laura Chung. We now
like Ferrari were holding back someone in practice because now they appear to be the quickest team. As Armand will cross the line next. Without improving.
Remember, this is only Q1. Things could change in the next 2 sessions. As now we look at Fosbury. No improvement for him. Here comes Paolino Tomaselli. No improvement for him. Eva Gal and Gamba and Videri and Willows are about to start a lap. Qpoc's up on his personal best. And at the moment, I've just realised both Toro Rossas are actually in the drop zone. It's not just Catalan. It's also Qpoc as well.
Well, Qpoc has a chance to get out of there now. As he goes through the last corner. Qpoc, let's see what he can do with this lap. He should be able to improve, but how much? Well, enough to go up into P11.
Catalan, meanwhile, is also an improvement. He goes up to 14th. That pushes Videri and Campana in the drop zone. Lopez goes up to
3rd. Good effort there as Maxim Titko is up next. Let's see if he can get himself in the safe spot. Here goes Titko. No, 17th only.
Just missed out there.
Yeah, by 2 tenths behind Gabriel Gomez. But he is in front of Federi, so Federi currently in the drop zone. Chris Chat will be hoping to rescue himself now with an improvement. 13th, that's good enough. Gets within half a tenth of teammate Fosbury. So Chatfield should be safe there. As Groshman Rosa next across the line, he doesn't improve. That could be dangerous for him. As Gabriel Gomez is coming here, he could knock him out. Let's see if Gomez can improve. No, he can't. Everett is next across the line. Everett can't improve that one. Martinez is up next. Currently in last place. Can he get out of there? He's gonna need quite a lot of time to get it to safety. But let's see, Martinez.
No, I think he's out, and I think he's out as well, judging for how much time there is.
Yeah, he doesn't have enough time. Miklos Golesam next. Let's see where the Hungarian can go. He goes 5th.
Gamba goes 4th.
Before Gamba makes that P6 for him, P4 for himself. Federi's up next. They can get himself to safety here. No! That looks like Federi will be out.
Yeah, Federi might be out of it unless he somehow whizzes around the track, but I think he might be done.
No, there's not enough time.
Sometimes gone back out. He's got a chance to try and get himself into Q2.
Yeah, but I think Federi's participation in qualifying is over. There's no way he's going to have enough time to come into the pits and then come out again and do his lap.
Only 20th for Andrea Videri. So we'll have to wait and see.
Alfa Romeo very much struggling here today.
That's for sure. We'll have to see if anybody else joins Felix Sontag, but I highly doubt it. We'll have to see, of course, with the amount of time that's left.
Gabriel Gomez could be out as well, joining his teammate in the drop zone. Unless he goes out in time and goes for a flyer.
To see. Sontag, though, preparing for his final flying lap as he makes his way towards the second to last corner. Of course, he now has the correct livery on after having the wrong livery on back in practice.
He's going to need to find about 6 tenths or a second on this lap if he wants to reach safety. Maybe a bit of hard ask, but you never know. Felix Sontag might be the man who can do it. Let's see. Here goes Sontag starting his lap.
Rosa will be hoping that Sontag doesn't get himself up into 16 because that will push him out at this point in time. I'm looking at the countdown, and it looks like it will only be just Sontag who can get himself out. Unless, in fact, Campana just came out there, so
there's some other cars as well, including one of the racing points there. Yeah, I think Campana
could just make it and may have one more chance to get himself into Q2. We'll have to wait.
Well, let's see. We got 4 cars on track who are gonna make it, not counting, including Zonta, who is on the lap and he's improving the first sector by just under a tenth and a half. If Zonta keeps this up, he might have enough to get himself 17th or even that fateful P16. Confirmation, meanwhile, that Gabriel Gomez, Rosetta Martinez, Maxim Titkov, and Andrea Federi are out. So it's up to the 2 Williams drivers to see if they can save themselves.
Let's see what Sontag's middle sector is like as he makes his way through the right-hander. His second sector, what's it like? And he's still only 1/10 up, so I don't think it's going to be enough.
He could gain a place on Campana, but it's not going to be enough to get himself out of the drop zone.
Through the second to last corner comes the German now then, as he makes his way towards the final corner. Let's see what he can do. As into the final corner and onto the pit straight goes Felix Sontag. Across the line goes the German.
Round of his session.
He's out.
22nd and last. Yeah, he's out, unfortunately. But 3 seconds go. Has his teammate made it across the line? I think he has.
We'll have to see, because we didn't see him there. Jay McKenzie's on a lap, but I don't know if Campana has made it. The camera didn't catch him because it was busy in the pit lane there. So now let's look at Jay McKenzie's middle sector. We will have to see if Campana did have enough time a little bit later on.
I dare say he did, but we'll have to focus on the other drivers.
The second to last corner then goes Jay McKenzie. As now he makes his way towards the final corner.
He'll be safe either way. He doesn't need to improve on this lap, but I'm sure he'll want an improvement. As McKenzie will finish his Q1.
And didn't improve, but it looks like he's through anyway. Let's see. Sontag, that's the two... And Lean did get a lap in. So he's got one more chance to get himself out of the drop zone and get himself into Q2.
Roke is being impeded by Sontag in the meantime, but that's... Even with the whole lap, he's improving, you can see. But it's not going to be much because Roke is safe.
He is using his slipstream. Campana's down on his personal best, so at the moment...
Yeah, but only by 800s with a massive third sector, which we've seen in GP2 happen yesterday. Campana could gain some time, we'll see. Anyway, Roke will finish his lap. Doesn't improve, and neither does teammate Mochin there. Campana will be the last one to cross the line. Unfortunately, the Williams drivers haven't made it off the back row.
So we've got our bottom 6, and that is Q1 done and dusted with, as Byrne for some reason came back out onto the racetrack for some.
So at the end of the day, it was the 2 Williamses, the 2 Matters, and the 2 Alfa Romeos who got dropped in Q1. That was a little bit of a surprise. It must have come as a surprise to some, but yeah, that's the way things stand.
Yeah, and of course there was some who put 1 Alpha down, but I don't think anybody was expecting both Alphas to be out.
No, absolutely not.
So that's that, really. A surprise for Federi to be down in 20th position as well, and be out-qualified by Gomez, which hasn't happened too much this season, it must be said, as they are all now... The guys who are slowing, of course, are going back into the pits. They're all waiting for Byrne to finish his lap so that the session can officially come to a close. Because the thing is, when you've got everybody as AI cars in Grand Prix 4, you have to wait for everybody to finish for it to go back into the main menu.
And that's a massive traffic jam. Looks like Monza 2019 real life levels. But anyway, that's Q1 done. Joseph Willow's quickest, to Armarcar second. But more importantly, the ones who are out are Gabriel Gomez, Rosetta Martinez, Maxim Titkov, Andrea Federlin, Campana, and Felix Zonta. We won't be seeing those guys out again today.
That's for sure.
Yeah,
so,
and one notice is that I will do a little bit of a setup change to see if we can do something to the turn 1 stuff. The settings will probably go back to test for the race, but I'm going to see if I can... I think if I'll increase the straight line speed to make them go more closer side to side instead of trying to dive from the back, so it could avoid that one. So yeah,
we'll see if that works out, of course. So in the meantime, guys, let us know who you think will be going through. Who'll be going out in Q2 whilst we wait for that session to get underway, as I try and get a photo there, but for some reason my YouTube there was playing up. So Yeah, so leave your prediction on who you think will get knocked out in Q2, guys. But what did you make of that session overall, Rob?
Well, it was interesting. The 2 Alphas being knocked out was definitely a big surprise. And Mercedes are looking good, though. They're P2 and P3. Joseph Willows found some mega pace on his lap, and Ferrari may have ruled them out in practice, but they could definitely have a shot for pole.
To see, of course, if they're able to keep that up, though.
Also, I want to say, great job from Evan Byrne with his lap. He was like, what, 5th fastest in that Renault? And if he keeps it up, we should be able to see him in Q3. He's done a great job so far, and he'll be hoping he can make it across and escape the jobs and find himself in Q3 in the shootout.
We'll see, of course, if that happens to be, of course. Remember last season when he nearly got pole position? Whether the same will happen again, who knows? But anyway, we're just waiting for Yuri to sort out a few settings before we can get into Q2. As I try and find a photo of myself during Q1, which is for some reason proving a little bit more harder than I thought for some reason.
Oh, man.
I don't know if we saw much of me in Q1, to be honest. We'll see, though. As I try and find one. Was there one at the end of me? I'm not sure. I don't think there was. So, looking around to see if I can find a Ferrari. That's Laura Chung I'm looking for there. Where is that? That's Laura Chung again. Being a lot difficult this is to try and find one photo of me at this point in time.
Oh, man.
So the stream is now back on. So I struggled to find a photo of myself. So anyway, of course, a dry session for
it's not the end of the world.
Proving a lot difficult. But anyway, the session is about to get underway, and I might be silent for a bit here, Rob, so you might have to cover me for a bit until I try and find a photo.
Don't worry. Until Joe sorts it out, you'll have to deal with my voice only. But yeah, here we go. Q2 is going to be underway, and let's know your predictions in the chat, guys. Who's going to make it through, who's going to go out. 15 minutes on the clock, and they're underway. We're waiting for the first car to go out on track soon enough. And yeah, looking at Matteo Catalan at the minute. Both he and teammate Q-Puck were able to make it through. After a little bit of a scare earlier in the session in Q1, they were able to improve eventually and make it through Q2. As Franco Gamba with the first one out on track in the Hungarian liveried Red Bull. Or you could say Italian liveried because of the same color scheme. But anyway, you know the deal. Franco Gamba is the first one out on track today in Q2. And yeah, he didn't shine particularly a lot in Q1. But I'm sure Red Bull will be hoping to unleash some more pace in Q2 and 3. And they might be a contender for pole, we'll see. Red Bull did get pole position here in real life in 15. So who knows what's going to happen. Don't rule them out. I think Mercedes, Ferrari, and Red Bull, having seen what happened in Q1, they all have a shot at it. Anyway, Franco Gamba is on his outlap, as are a bunch of other people, including Laura Chang, Matteo Catalan, Perinoto Maselli, Markaev, and Bernie Miklos Gal. Be expecting the rest to come out soon enough, too.
There we go. Finally, got a picture.
Well, that's a good thing, Joe.
Finally.
I was getting a little bored talking about myself, but good to have you back, bruh.
Let me just sort the tweet out. So for the moment, you
yeah, sure thing.
For the moment.
All right. Franco Gamba will start his flying lap, his first in Q2, and we'll see what he'll be able to do on this one. Everyone is out on track. There shouldn't be any traffic for him. Franco Gamba has begun his flyer as he'll be approaching turn 1 with a big braking zone, the biggest of the circuit. Looks like he's got a good run. Clip that curb a little bit. It was a good run. Focused on the exit speed. And let's see how he'll handle turn 2. Braked late, I guess. But good early exit there. Looked a little hesitant as he was approaching turn 3. But I don't think it cost him too much time. As Gamba completes sector 1 with 27.6. So that's that. There's a guy yellow flag already on the flying lap. It's Evan Bird who's been collided into. He's been hit by Miklos Gal. So Evan Bird's first lap.
Well, that worked fucking well.
Oh man, Gal and Burn have collided here, and yeah, I'm not sure what to make of that one really. I think it's mostly on Gal. He understeered into one, and Burn had the turned in, but he was entitled to turn in there. And yeah, Gal, I'm afraid that understeer he caught.
Yeah, I need to try something else with the settings as well.
For Q3 you mean, or are you gonna?
I mean, well, let's see if it keeps going. It's a bit annoying because people's sessions are getting ruined because of it.
Has gone quickest meanwhile in the first sector, and our Marca is matching her, I think.
I'm back now, by the way. I finished that tweet.
Welcome back, Joe. Did you see that collision?
Only just, yeah. Only just. But anyway, Garber now then coming around the second to last corner. Let's see what he's able to do.
Quicker than Tomaselli for sector 2, as he should be. But Laura Chung is much quicker than him. She's 2 tenths up for the second sector. So I'll be expecting her to go quicker than him. And when Franco Gamba finishes lap, set the benchmark to 1:15.0. Tomaselli will be next to cross the line. You'll be expecting him to be around 2 or 3 tenths down. Yes, he is 2 tenths down on Gamba. Armar Kaz next. And Kaz was slow there. Only 4th at the minute. Until Catalan will be next to cross the line 5th, as Lord Chang has gone quickest. Because Gal will obviously be coming into the pits. Motchen, he's a 2nd down on Chang at the minute. So that's not looking good for him. He might be going last as it stands. And look who he's got behind his teammate George Roque. Once again, the 12 racing points holding each other up.
As they now go down the pit straight, let's see if any improvement can be made. Rogue goes 6th, Motrin goes 7th. As now
one
Mackenzie
improvement
goes
was their first last. Mackenzie goes 6th there, as Franco Lopez has demoted him. Franco Lopez goes 2nd behind Chung. Kupak is up next, and Kupak only 10th for him. He's the slowest of all at the minute. Josh Manderosa goes 4th. That's a mighty impressive effort. Joseph Willows is next. Willows only 7th for the Brit, I'm afraid. Jared Fosbury will be waiting for him to cross the line. He had to measure his teammate Chatfield in Q1, but let's see what he can do in Q2 here. As Fosbury will head across the line. 13th and slowest at the minute. Chatfield goes in front of him, but as it stands, both passes will be out of the running.
As Garber now goes back into the pits, we should see Byrne back on track soon because that car is very close to the wall. It should be hoisted over, and there you go, the yellows are gone. And we should expect
everyone except for Byrne and Gal, so the ones involved in that collision, has a flying lap. We'll be expecting them to set out their flying laps as well, but they won't have a delta to compare their first laps, so they'll have to go into that flying lap blind, I guess. By the way, it shouldn't be too much of a big deal. They know they can do above a good lap there. As now Mateo Catalan is coming into his garage. And yeah, Catalan, at the minute, he is in P9. He is in front of his teammate Kupak by 7 tenths of a second, so that's mighty impressive from the man who we know won't be retained in the top class next season because he didn't sign up. By the way, Catalan, he'll be happy as it stands because if it keeps going like this, he'll be in Q3. But let's not forget, Byrne and Gal could get in front of him easily. If that happens, then Mateo Catalan will be knocked out of the top 10. But there's time for everyone to improve, and that includes for Catalan. Looks like he'll be going out again soon enough.
As Chatfield now then goes back into the pits. And Q-Pot, there he is. He's in the box. And there goes Evan Byrne, who's going back out onto the racetrack as he now makes his way back.
There goes the Irishman, the number 64 Renault. He's out on track, and this time around, you shouldn't have to worry about any Red Bulls.
As now Byrne makes his way in towards turn 2 now then, flicking it through the long swooping left-hander. And he will soon be starting his lap very soon. And his first flying lap, that is, after the collision he had with Gao. And Chung, is she back in the pit? And in fact, there's a few cars now going out on the track. I think one of them might be Gal as well. So anyway,
yeah, I've got Maselli as well.
Now into the chicane now then goes Byrne through the right and then into the left. He'll now make his way through the S's. And now through the right he goes.
I would like to ask you, Joe, what do you think of that pole lap from Lord Chang? No, well, not pole lap. Lord Chang at the minute, because 1.14.7, that looks like real life levels of speed at Hungary, so it's encouraging. Chang was able to find so much space there.
Very, very quick at the moment, it must be said. We'll have to hope, you have to see.
Also want to say there's only 1,000 difference between Lopez and Gamba, so it's definitely very competitive at the minute. Mercedes, Red Bull, and Ferrari all look to be in this fight. And Hiroshima De Rosa and Paolo Tomasini, the McLarens, they've done a cracking good job so far in the first run, as Evan Byrne will start his first proper run. Looks like he might have to deal with a little bit of traffic. That's the Toro Rosso has just gone out on track, and we'll see.
Looks like he's a bit clear from that Toro Rosso, I think, so I think he's going to be just about okay. Through into turn 2 he goes then, flicking it through the left-hander.
Yeah, thankfully so. I think, judging by that, that T-cam he's got, it should be David Kupok has gone out, as Evan Byrne was set 27.8 in the first sector. If I remember correctly, that's like 2/10 off what Gambo accomplished. You can see almost 4/10 behind Chung. So if Byrne keeps this up, he might be able to find himself on the outer edge of the top 10. We'll see how well he can go in sectors 2 and 3, the Irishman.
Yes, as he goes now then, using a little bit of curb on the exit there.
At the minute, everyone other than the Haas is out on track, but speaking of which, Chatfield has just gone out, so Fosbury's still in the pits. 1.4 seconds down is Evan Byrne, so this lap doesn't appear to quite be it. Maybe he can track a little bit of dirty air from coming from, I'm not sure. Anyway, Byrne, I think he knows this won't be the lap. He'll have to rely on his next one, which should be his last one. Either way, Evan Byrne, with this lap, I don't expect him to go into the top 10, but we'll see. Evan Byrne will cross the line, and where can he place himself? The Irishman, it's only 15th and last. Nicholas Gall is also out on the lap. The Hungarian, we don't know what his second sector was like. Looks like he might be getting in the top 10, though. Let's see. Gall, 6th fastest for him, as Laura Chung is next. Can she improve on her P1 lap time? No, she can't. Turn 10's down. Tomaselli is using the slipstream from his teammate to go second quickest. That's mighty McLaren. I don't know how that found that pace here today, but they've done a cracking good job. As Franco Gabba is next to cross the line, he can't get back out of the front row. Lopez appears to be improving, though. 200s up in the middle sector. And Franco Lopez, if he doesn't get any dirty air from the Haas in front, and you can see.
Made an error. He's made an error there. I think he might have cost him time there to improve.
You can see how shiny that Haas is in some parts of the track. And Lopez has missed out on improvement by 8/100 seconds, so he's lost a full 10th in that sector 3.
Yep, that you can just see there. Look, the mistake was right there, and as a result, it prevented Lopez from improving. We now look at Roke, who's currently in the drop zone with his teammate. Down the straight he goes.
Looks like he's staying there.
There's Mackenzie, who is currently in the top 10 at the moment, currently in 9th position, making his way
doesn't appear to be improving at the minute, so we'll have to wait and see what he does. He's still safe for now in P9, but there's plenty of time for that to change. Mackenzie doesn't improve. God does to go up into 2nd, and David Kupok is up next. Kupok goes safe, so Mackenzie's now in P10. He could be in danger. We'll see.
As De Rosa goes around the second last score, he's got his teammate behind, but his teammate's going to be coming into the pits this lap anyway because he's already done a lap. Here is De Rosa now then, through the final turn.
It looks like both McLarens will be safe, but the session is still not over, so you don't know yet. Anyway, De Rosa won't improve there. 9 times now his personal best. As Ronald Mocho will cross the line next. Can he get himself into the top 10 and knock Jay Mackenzie out of it? Yes, he can. With P7 exactly half a second slower than Chung. Speaking of Chung, her teammate Joseph Willows is on the lap, currently in P10 at the cusp of the top 10. But I think he'll get himself much safer this lap. Let's see where the Brit can place himself. The McLaren Brown Brit goes 7th.
P7 at this point in time. Here's Chris Chatfield on improvement in the drop zone. Can he get into the top 10? No, only 13th there, ahead of Roke. His teammate.
And I want to speak about Chatfield, or rather the Hasses. You can see this in some corners. The car looks so shiny. It reminds me of Mercedes sometimes. And that must have been from the confusion I had earlier in the session. Anyway, Chatfield Chatfield improved only to 13th. His teammate Fosbury didn't improve. But I think you understand my point I was making earlier, Joe. That Haas can get so shiny sometimes you can confuse for the Mercedes.
Yeah, definitely. As now Catalan gets wheeled back into the garage. At the moment, Mackenzie, Catalan, Chatfield, Roke, Fosbury and Byrne are in the drop zone, but I think a lot of them will get one more lap in before the session comes to a close.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everyone should get an hour shine it, as now that Kupok is coming into his box. So Catalan has just been finished. The mechanics have just finished the work on him. Catalan currently outside the top 10, being outpaced by teammate Kupok by about 2/10 of a second. Yeah, 2/10 of a second there. Kupok is in 10th, holding on to the other edges of the top 10, but it's still a long way to go in this session. 4 minutes may not sound like much, but when everyone has a run, it can mean quite a lot, and everyone can still improve on their times. So we got Miklos Gall, a man eager to improve. He's currently in P9. For the moment, he is safe, but judging by how close the field is, he might not be safe in 4 minutes' time unless he gets an improvement, and he'll be hoping for that one.
Got a Ferrari behind of Laura Chung as well. She's gone out onto the track. I think Tomaselli's also just gone out as well in the McLaren. And
well, Joe, I want to ask you, who do you think is safe at the minute? Because I'd say in their top 7 should be comfortably safe. It's Moch and Gal, Kupok, and those 3 basically who have to worry about keeping their place in the shootout. But everyone in front of them, judging by their lap times, I think they should be comfortably safe.
Maybe top 6, we'll have to see. But yeah, top 6, top 7, something like that. I think they could be safe. But you never know, of course. As Gal now then goes round the S's now then, as he'll soon be starting his final lap very soon. Chatfield's gone out on track, as has Byrne. Anybody else from that bottom 6 going to go out? I think they should all do, really, but we'll have to see.
Well, Roke is out, and we'll be waiting for some more cars out. David Kupok proactively has gone out. He wants to hold on to his P10 spot.
On track, Mackenzie's gone out on track.
As is Catalan, Mackenzie is out as well. Yeah, we'll be waiting for Chatfield and Fosbury to make their move soon enough. But anyway, until then, Koshkov will start his lap. And he is safe at the minute, but I think he is worried, and he wants to improve on this one.
Have to see as he now makes his way down towards the first corner now then. Through the right-hander he goes, as he now uses a bit of that curb on the exit there. And now making his way down towards turn 2. Car has just come out onto the track for Mercedes. Through the left-hander we go. And Willows has also gone out on the track. Through turn 3 goes Miklos Gal. Let's see what his first sector is like compared to Loa Chung. His first sector, and he's up on Chung.
Up. That's a purple from Miklos Gal. Great effort already. And if I told you he was going to need a buffer to feel even more safe. And this might just be it. We'll have to see what he can do in the second and third sectors, though.
Both Hasses have now gone out on track, so all 6.
Mochin is the only car we're waiting for. And let's not forget of that penalty. So at the minute, whoever qualifies 11th will actually get a P10 start, assuming Mochin doesn't improve on his position. But Miklos Gal, that's a mighty second sector. Looks like he can go quickest of all with that one. Mochin has gone out on track meanwhile, so everyone will be getting a lap in.
See what the final 2 turns are going to be like then for Miklos Gal. Can he get to the top and please the Hungarian fans down the pitch?
He should be able to. Are we going to get a bunch of cheers? Yes, we are. Gal is quickest by 0.2 of a second. Chuck has improved though. She's have a 10th down on him. So looking close between those 2. Evan Byrne is improving in the meantime by about 0.3 of the second sector. It's not going to be enough at the minute, but if he can find some more pace in sector 3, that could be his ticket to safety. Let's see if the Renault driver can save himself. Here he goes through the last corner. Evan Byrne almost got pole last season. Can he get into Q3 once again? No, he can't. It's only P15. Franco Gaba next to cross the line. Gaba goes quickest now. Incredible lap there. Kupok, he's being held up by that Haas. He can't improve. He's in danger. Franco Lopez goes fourth. They also start a lap. Looking at George Roque next, who does appear to be improving. The Racing Point man may be in danger of getting knocked out. As here goes Roque to round off what could be his session. Yeah, you can see he's not going to improve. He is out, confirmed. Mato Catalan is up next. Doesn't look like he'll be able to dislodge teammate Kupok from the top 10. He might be out with this one. And Mato Catalan, yes, he is out. He couldn't improve. Mackenzie, though, goes up to the 7th. Knocks Kupok out of the top 10, so both the Rossos will be out. Armarca is also on an improvement at the minute. He could be getting in front of his teammate Lopez.
Kupok finished a lap, I can't remember.
Yes, he did. He couldn't improve.
So he is out then. So both Toro Rossos are out. 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they could gain a place depending on where Mochin ends up qualifying in Q3. Got across the line, he goes into P4. Willows is next, he's on a personal best. Let's see what he can do. He goes quickest now. So this is a proper fight between the top 3 teams. Jared Fosbury is also on a lap. He's 2/10 up in the middle sector. He could still rescue himself, though it's a long shot. We'll see.
He's made a mistake. He's made a mistake.
Yeah, he has. Oh, another one. Into the last corner. Looks like Jared Fosbury's not going to make it, even if he manages to improve here. Let's see. Fosbury. Only P16. He couldn't improve on position. He's out.
Chatfield's out as well. He's just improved. DeRosa
so that means
might just be safe. Here comes Motrin, who I think is just going to be safe to go into Q3.
Yeah.
And so across the line he goes.
Motrin is through to Q3, but let's not forget, if he were to make it P10 in Q3, he's going to drop all the way down to P15. But anyway, at the minute, the ones who are eliminated are Kupok, Catalan, Chatfield, Roque, Byrne, and Fosbury. So it's unfortunate for them, but that's the way it will go sometimes. You win some, you lose some. And unfortunately for them, they can make it through to Q3 this time around. But, of course, some of these guys could gain places depending on Motrin's performance in Q3. Let's not forget.
Indeed. So after that, Willow's obviously top ahead of Gamba and Gal, and we'll be getting ready for the final part of qualifying.
I did not see that lap coming from Willow's. It was a surprise and a damn welcome one. 114.4. That's a mighty effort. It could be hard to be even in Q3, but Joseph Willows fastest again. Franco Gamba second. Miklos Gal is in third. Lord Chang in fourth. Franco Lopez in P6 behind. I'm not sure who he was behind again, but I forgot. Anyway, that's not super important. What's super important is the drivers who are eliminated. They are David Kupok, Mato Kata, and the two Toro Rossos, followed by Chris Chatfield and George Roque. Roque in the Racing Point, followed by Evan Byrne, his former teammate in the Renault, Rajad Fosbury, 16th and last in this session. So all these 6 guys, unfortunately, have been eliminated, but they will be able to gain a place if Motrin finishes P10 in Q3 as well.
Indeed, a very exciting session, it must be said. So
yeah, it's very close at the top. Looks like both Red Bulls can get their drivers in there, and meanwhile, Mercedes and Ferrari, they're having to rely on one driver at the minute, but the other drivers could definitely improve. So who do you think is going to take pole, Joe? It's all 3 teams in this fight. It could go to anybody.
I haven't got a clue. It's that close indeed. But given that he's topped the 2 sessions, and I'm not saying this to be biased because I've never been biased towards myself, I think Joseph Willows might just scrape it. We'll have to see.
Well, I'm just going to have to disagree with you there. Not because I hate you or anything. No, I don't hate you, man. I don't hate you, mate. But I'm just going to predict somebody else. And I'm thinking it's going to be Franco Gamba who takes pole.
So you're going for a Red Bull pole, I'm going for a Ferrari pole. What's everybody else saying in the stream chat? We'll have to wait and see. Leave your prediction.
Yeah, I guess you're going to have to predict a Mercedes pole then, eh?
Yeah, of course, one thing to remember as well is that Roland Motrin has that 5-place grid penalty, so wherever he ends up in this session, he'll drop 5 places back. So
yes, indeed. Another thing I want to touch on is McLaren. They've done incredibly well so far, mate, and mighty effort from them.
Indeed, they didn't really show that pace at all during the first part of qualifying, but first part of in practice really, but they seem to have turned it up in qualifying, and both Tomaselli and De Rosa are able to make it into Q3.
Yeah, indeed, and they'll be hoping to get a good grid slot for tomorrow's race. And Yuri has just told us, should we tell you guys his prediction, or should we keep it secret?
Let's have a look what he's put. Okay. We might as well. It's only a prediction. He's put car as his prediction. So,
yeah.
Interesting indeed. So, okay, I've just seen some more. A Red Bull pole for Dennis says, not specifically saying which one. Franco says a Joe pole. George says a Mickey pole, that being Miklos Gal. We will see though. Differentiate, pretty much a split between who will get pole position, that's for sure.
Yeah, indeed. And it'll be very interesting to see. Like I said, I think Franco Gamba might be able to take it, but it's only a matter of time. We'll just find out soon enough just who's going to get it. Meanwhile, Yuri's told us that he's edited the settings a little bit again, so he shouldn't be getting any more turn 1 crashes. The driver should be able to go side by side. And if not, then F it, let's start a riot.
Yeah. In theory it should, but we'll have to wait and see, of course. But anyway, Q3 will be starting very, very soon. We're just waiting for the stream to get back to us. But anyway, it's going to be very exciting. I can't wait.
Yeah, likewise, Joe. It should be quite entertaining climax to this qualifying session. The shootout for pole. We know who the participants are, and it should be a damn entertaining one.
Yep, indeed. So, Q3 will soon be starting very, very soon. We believe it's going to be a close fight between the Red Bulls, Ferraris and the Mercedes. Of course, the Hungarian fans will be hoping it will be Miklos who will take pole position in front of his adoring fans, but we'll have to wait and see. It should be
What if Motrin takes pole and surprises everybody? Of course, we know he would lose that pole, but still, what if he were to go quickest?
It would be a damn shame. It'd be like when Michael Schumacher got pole at Monaco 2012. A damn shame. And anyway, we've got the stream up now. Of course,
I guess you could say like Charles Leclerc, Monaco this year. He took pole, but he can actually start from it because he didn't start, you know.
Anyway, we've now got the loading screen up on your screen, and given what we saw last season with a midfield car with Evan Byrne, we'll have to wait and see how this one goes, especially if any of the midfield cars get into the 1 minute 14s, which is where the quickest times seem to be at this point in time. So, we are now...
I think a McLaren could definitely get maybe into the top 6 or maybe in the top 5. We'll just have to see.
As we are now in the cockpit of Roland Motrin, and so the Hungarian fans are happy to see both of their home favourites in Q3, but they know that one of them is going to have a 5-place grid penalty. They'll be hoping he doesn't get affected by that too much in this session. Let's wait for the first car to go out, and it will be Franco Gamba who's first going to be out onto the racetrack for Red Bull Racing in the Hungarian / Italian themed Red Bull Racing livery. As Franco Gamba said, it's basically just a mix of the two flags, really, which there's not really much difference. You just flip it on one side, basically. So
yeah, just a 90-degree flip, and I mean, it's not even the only flag design with that thematic. You know, there's the green, white, and red, and also the red, and and also the blue, white, and red. France, Netherlands, ex-Yugoslavia, you know, stuff like that.
Indeed, as Garba now then makes his way towards the chicane, as we've got more cars going out on the track, which include Jay McKenzie, Paulino Tomaselli, Franco Lopez, Roland Motrin, Joseph Willows, and Kirishima De Rosa. 3 more cars yet to go out onto the racetrack. Miklos Gal has just come out on the track, probably to a chorus of cheers, a bit like Roland Motrin got as well. And just waiting for 2 more cars to go out onto the racetrack. One of them, I believe, is Laura Chung, and the other one has just come out right now. That would be...
It's our car.
Okay. So we've got 10 cars are now out on the racetrack. It's Gamba now that makes his way through the final turn, as he'll now start the first final lap.
Yes, keep a close eye on those sector times. They will be key in telling us who will have the early advantage, as Gamba will approach turn 1, braking as late as he dares, and that's a bloody good line there.
Is indeed, but let's see if he can keep that up now then, as he goes around turns 2 and 3. Through the long swooping left-hander he goes before going through the flat-out right-hander, and using as much of the exit as possible as he makes his way up towards the medium speed left-hander. Let's see his first sector is like a 27.451. Sorry.
That's a very
Let's
quick
keep an eye on what everybody else is doing in the first sector. As
we'll get Mackenzie's time shortly. It should be slower than Gamba's, but we'll see.
We'll see as he just comes out of that chicane now, then goes Franco Gamba. He's got a bit of a gap between everybody else. Mackenzie at 27.655 in the first sector, 2 tenths off of Gamba. Remember, those two are
Lopez will be next because sector split. Lopez is matching Gamba, only 2,000 separating the two. This will be interesting. It's a 53.3 for Gamba in sector 2 meanwhile.
Willows is a 10th off in the first sector as we look around at what everybody else is doing. And they're still quite tough on Gamba at this point in time. As now Gamba makes his way through the final corner, he's about to finish his lap. Let's see what the benchmark time is going to be. The Italian now then crosses the line. It's a 1 minute 14.487. And let's see what Mackenzie can do. Through the
I think it's just a little bit slower than the quick stepper from Q2, if I'm not mistaken. So definitely the pace is there in these guys. Mackenzie's going to be next to cross the line. He should be slower than Gamba, of course, but how much slower? Well, almost 2 seconds. Oh, he must have made a mistake. Lopez up next. He was 2,000 down in both sectors. Let's see how he ends up here. He's lost a 10th. Yeah, goes second quickest.
Now we look at Rosa across the line. He goes third. Willow's got held up a bit slightly there. He goes into third. Let's have a look at Roland Motrin across the line, and he goes into fifth. Fourth for Tomaselli. We now look at Gal. Makes his way through the final turn. Let's see what he can do. The Hungarian now then.
Can he get himself on the front row alongside teammate Gamba? No, he can't. Only 4 for him. Lord Chung will be next, and she could be going quickest of all.
She's going very quick at the moment. Let's see what she can do. Can she get close to the 1 minute 13 to cross the line? It's the 1 minute.
Oh,
no, she lost time in that sector. As now Car goes fastest. Car goes to the top of the timing sheets.
I have to say, Gamba had a very mighty last sector in his flying lap. But I think, yeah, Armarka was just about able to beat it.
Car now goes to the top of the timing sheets. Of course, Car has only had 1 pole position this season at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, but as expected, it's very, very close between the top 3 teams, with Willows and Gal still need to really find a little bit more pace. I think they did get held up on their laps as well, although Gal might be just a little bit off. We'll have to wait and see. At the moment, Motrin's down in laps. At the moment, he'll be starting 14th.
Yeah, indeed. Willows was definitely held up, I think, by one of the McLarens there, and despite that hold up, he's only half a second down, so there's definitely much more time he can find on his next flying laps.
As the Renault with Mackenzie now goes back into his box, and of course as I said, a little bit ironically, because he and Garma were the first two to set a time there. Ironically, those two fighting for that second Red Bull seat alongside Miklos Gal. We'll have to wait and see how that one persists there, as De Rosa is running to his box.
Speaking of Mackenzie, he wasn't that far off in sectors 1 and 2 to Gamba, but he lost so much time in sector 3 to end up 2 seconds off. He must have had a terrible one. Let's ignore the fact that Gamba's sector was brilliant. Mackenzie's was horribly bad to lose so much time.
Well, to be fair, the third sector is where the main test comes in, of course. The first sector is not really much of a challenge. The second sector, whilst there's a bit of a challenge there, it doesn't really separate the drivers a bit too much because there's not that many heavy braking zones. It's the last sector where you gain or lose all the time because there's more heavy braking zones on that sector. So,
yeah,
one thing to keep an eye on, really, as we
it's
wait for
Joe, I would like to say it's very strange. Sector 3 only has 3 corners, but those 3 corners are absolutely critical towards lap time here.
Yeah, indeed, because they are very easy to make a mistake, as we've seen a couple of times from some drivers over the course of the last 2 sessions, where we've seen lockups happen, basically. As we've got a car out, and it's Joseph Willows who's going to be going out first this time by, and he'll be looking to see if he can get himself close to the front, because, of course, he has topped both the qualifying sessions so far today. He'll be looking to make it 3 out of 3 if he can. He's also joined on the track.
He's also out behind him, yes. And this time around, I think Joe Willis is not going to have to worry about any sort of dirty hair. So he's being given a green light to push. I'll have to see if he can take that P1 spot back for Ferrari.
Through the right-hander he goes now then, and to make his way up the hill towards the very quick left-hander. A medium-speed corner, as we said. I think you can just lift off the accelerator a bit there and just go through the corner without obviously exceeding track limits, but we'll have to wait and see on that. As Willows now then makes his way through the chicane, as a few more cars now start to come out onto the racetrack, as Garma looks to see if he can try and find 79 thousandths off of Almar Carr at this point in time. As quite close at the moment between the top 4, Willows and Gal hoping that they can get into the mix as well.
Yeah, indeed. I'd like to say Sector 1, that's a power limited sector here in the Hungaroring. So we should be expecting Willows with that Ferrari power unit, which is mighty, to be quickest in Sector 1, but Sectors 2 and 3 will be the ones that actually are the deciders, as Willows begins his lap.
He starts his lap now. Remember, of course, on the previous lap, Willows did get held up slightly as well, so there may be some more time to find for him at the moment as he makes his way down towards the first corner, flicking it in through the hairpin. And, of course, Willows won here last season as well, so be hoping to see if he can have some more good luck this season. Through into turn 2. Goes now then through the long swooping left-hander, and now into turn 3, flat out he goes as he'll be approaching the end of the first sector. Let's see what it's like compared to former teammate Almar Carr. Let's see. His first sector is 300s up. So Willows is doing well so far in the first sector. 2 tenths up on his personal best as well, might I add.
Yeah, 2.5, and that's absolutely a massive effort. And of course, it's without the traffic, but sectors 2 and 3 should be able to gain some more. And Joseph Willows could definitely be a contender for pole. Almar Carr has gone out a little bit late, though. I was thinking might not go out at all in this round, but it looks like he has gone out in the end. As we look at Willows' second sector time, can he go purple?
Ooh, it's still very close between him and Carr. He did lose a little bit in the second sector, but he's still nearly 2 tenths up on his personal best. We'll have to see how he does in the last sector, of course, because this is where you either gain the time or you lose the time. Willows now then, round the final corner. Can he grab the pole off of Almar Carr as he makes his way down the pit straight, across the line, goes to 2-time world champion. Can he go to pole?
Yes, he can! Yes, he can. Great effort there. Mackenzie's next. He's looking to improve, which he does. Up at B6 goes Jay Mackenzie. Franco Lopez is next. He can't get back on pole. And,
Al's improving in the middle sector, but he's still 8 tenths off. Let's see if he can try and find some time in the last sector like Willows did on that time. Because remember, Willows lost time in the second sector, but he gained it all back in the third sector. Let's see if Gauk is able to do the same. The home favourite now then comes down the pit straight and across the line goes Miklos Gal, who'll be with Red Bull again next season. It's only 7th for him at this point in time. His teammate
Franco Campa is next. His sector 3 is usually the most mighty, but this time around he can improve. He'll be hoping his last lap will be the magic one. Or Chang will be next to cross the line. Can she get in the top 3 this time? It'll be difficult. Let's see if she can do it. No, she can't.
Rosa, meanwhile, goes up to 6th himself, so big improvement there, but his teammate is also on an improvement. Let's see what Tomaselli can do, the man who is rumoured to move to Renault next season, but let's see. Tomaselli now then, down the pit straight, the Italian now then, is going to cross the line. What can he do? He goes 6th as well.
Great effort there.
Motrin's on improvement. Across the line he goes, well, he still remains 10th, so 9th and 10th for the Hungarians.
Guy's also on a flying lap, but he's 2 tenths off.
Car is not on an improvement, so at the moment Motrin will start 15th at this point in time, right to his 5-place grid penalty, as now Car makes his way towards the final corner. And let's see what he can do now then. Car is going to cross the line, and can he find some time in the last sector? No, he can't.
No, we can't. And yeah, I'd like to touch on Tomaselli, even if those rumors about him moving to Renault next season amount to anything, if they end up real or not. Regardless of that, he is 100% dedicated on doing the job at McLaren at the minute, and that was a bloody good lap. McLaren, I thought you one of them could get in the top 6, and that was a very, very solid effort.
Yep, indeed, as Mackenzie currently in 8th position, so far having an okay session, it must be said, but still quite off the McLarens at this point in time. 6 tenths off of Kirishima De Rosa at this point in time, and a further 2 tenths off of Paolino Tomaselli. So he needs to try and find some time if he wants to overthrow the 2 McLarens in this session, as De Rosa makes his way back into his box, and he'll soon be joined by teammate Tomaselli. And so Car still out on the track, and we're going to be ready for the last set of runs, I think, because we have just over 4 minutes to go in this session.
Everyone should have enough time, and in that meantime, before the first car goes out again, I'd like to touch about the Willows' pole lap, because in the first sector, he was like 0.248 up. In the second sector, he gained a further 2/1000ths of a second on that, so very, very close to his previous best. The sector 3 was what made the difference, opening ahead of Amar Khan to take provisional points. Now he'll be going out again to try to bear that time yet again.
He will try to indeed. At the moment, he is currently pole, but he feels like he needs to do some more because he feels like his rivals can still improve on this final lap. So Willows out on track first, just like last time, and we'll be keeping an eye on it to see if he can improve on that 1 minute 14.285 as he makes his way through turns 2 and then into turn 3, as he will soon be approaching the medium speed left-hander very, very soon. As now he flicks it through the left-hander, and now into the right-hander he will soon go, and into the chicane he'll soon go, as he's also joined by Lopez, who's gone out onto the track, and we know how good Lopez is on the final laps, as we've seen plenty of times over the last few races. He usually leaves it for the last minute. Just take what happened in, I think it was actually in Hockenheim where it happened, of course, where we thought Laura Chung was going to get pole, and he grabbed it right at the last minute.
He could pull off a surprise like that yet again. We'll have to wait and see. God, look, the stronger to Mercedes is today. But it's still not the end. We got another 3 minutes in this session, and it could go anyone's way. Maybe Willows will hold on to pole, maybe one of the Mercedes will take it, maybe Chung, or maybe one of the Red Bulls. We'll have to wait and see. But until then, Joseph Willows will start his last flying lap of the day. And here we go.
He starts his lap now then, so he goes down towards turn 1. There's no traffic around him, so it should be another clean lap for the 2-time champion and the man who'll be going back to McLaren next season. Out of turn 1 then goes Willows, as he'll now make his way towards turns 2 and 3 on the track now then. So into turn 2 he will go, flicking it in through the long swooping left-hander.
That looked a little bit slow, the running towards 2 on entry. I hope it doesn't cost him too much time. We'll see as you approach your first sector split. What's his time going to be like?
Oh, he's made a mistake. He's made a mistake there, and that might cost him a chance of improving. He was 500ths off his personal best in the first sector, but he's going to lose more time now because of that mistake. Yeah,
I got some oversteer in towards turn 4, and that could cost you big time. We'll just have to wait and see if you can make up for it in these corners, in this section of corners, in the S's, as Joe likes to call them. We'll see about that as he approaches turn 11. Very fast, not quite flat out. Maybe it might be in the 2020 cars, but in this cars, no. And he's 5 tenths down. Definitely not going to be an improvement, so we'll have to hope the other guys can't improve enough to take pole away from him, as he got 2 corners to go in this lap, Joseph Willows.
He now approaches the final corner. We aren't expecting him to improve unless he performs some kind of miracle in the last sector. Around the final corner then goes Joseph Willows. Across the line then goes the 2-time champion, and as expected he doesn't improve. He'll be hoping he's done enough to get pole. Here's Franco Lopez, who was up on his personal best in the first sector but then lost time in the middle sector. Let's see what
sector
Lopez
3 will be key. Let's see if he can improve on it. No, he can't.
He's in 5th. Chung and Tomaselli and Motrin about to start laps. Here's Gamba, who was down on his personal best in the first sector, but let's see if he can try and find it in the second sector, and he's still 7
very close
in the second sector, so if he can find some time in this last sector he could improve on that 3rd position. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe not for pole, but he could try and see if he can try and gain on car if he can. So here he goes then.
Well, let's see. His sector 3 on the first lap was mighty, so it'll be difficult to match, but if he can do it, he can get himself on the front row. Can he do that? Here goes Franco Gamba across the line. No, he can't.
About to start his final flying lap. He could be the only man who probably could challenge Willows for pole, unless somebody else is improving as well. Mackenzie crosses the line, and that is not an improvement for him. I don't know if he made a mistake. De Rosa didn't improve, remains in 7th.
Gal is on an improvement here. Let's see where he ends up.
And he goes
It's only P8. That's disappointing, man.
Favourite. Chung, meanwhile, down on her personal best in the first sector. Let's see what she can do in the second sector, meanwhile. And she's still way off in the second sector.
We're going to have sense off.
It doesn't look like that she's going to be able to make it a Ferrari 1-2 at the moment. So
no, she's going to have to sell for a second row start at best. And unfortunately for her, Laura Chung won't be able to improve on this lap. Unless she finds some sort of miracle pace in this last corner, but it's highly doubtful.
On the straight then goes Laura Chung across the line, and as expected she remains in 4th position. Tomaselli not up on his personal best. Motrin is, but of course he does have the penalty, so wherever he goes he's going to drop back 5 places. Tomaselli now then, across the line he goes, and no improvement remains in 6th. Let's see where Motrin can go then, as he now makes his way around.
He's going to have to climb 8 tenths if he wants to gain 1 position. Can he do that? Here comes around Motrin, and it's P15 on the grid for him.
Meanwhile, Carr is not up on his personal best, so it looks like Willows may have got pole unless he can find a miracle in the last sector. Around the final corner, across the line, he will go then, Amar Carr, and he doesn't improve. So it means that Joseph Willows is on pole position for tomorrow's Hungarian Grand Prix. We're now going to take a look at a lap of the pole lap right now.
There was no miracle on the Marne this time around. Joseph Willows, even though his last lap was bad, he was able to hold on to pole, and now myself and Joe are going to shut up and watch that beautiful lap again.
There's the mistake.
I should say in a few seconds.
There's the mistake that could have prevented him from improving it any further. I mean, he was down in the first sector, but he could have easily gained it back in the last 2, but we'll never know, of course. Right, we're going to stay quiet now, as we're going to let you view the pole lap to see how Joseph Willows got pole position for tomorrow's Hungarian Grand Prix.
Yes, indeed. And just a little bit as we wait for the rewind to go far enough. But when it does, we're going to go silent. And still waiting a little bit. This is the lap. We'll wait until we're before the start of it. And that's about now. Enjoy the pole lap.
And that is how Joseph Willows got pole position for tomorrow's Hungarian Grand Prix. A very good lap indeed. He's topped all 3 of the qualifying sessions. Question is, though, can he make it 2 wins in a row in Hungary tomorrow? That will be the question.
Yes, indeed. It was an incredible effort in the last sector in particular. That was where he gained that key margin over Armarka, and that key margin delivered him pole for tomorrow's race. Of course, he was swept today's session. He was fastest in Q1, fastest in Q2, but most importantly fastest in Q3, and a very well-deserved pole will go to Joseph Willows the last time he goes to Hungary as a Ferrari driver.
Indeed, the top 10, of course, being Joseph Willows, Amar Carr, Franco Garber, Laura Chung, Franco Lopez, Paulino Tomaselli, Kirishima De Rosa, Miklos Gal, Jay McKenzie, and Roland Motrin, who will of course start 15th due to his 5th place grid penalty, which will mean that David Kupak will start in 10th position for tomorrow. But anyway, that has been it then for qualifying here in Hungary. What did you make of the session overall, Rob?
Well, it was definitely very entertaining to see a multi-team fight for the pole position. is always really exciting, and we got one today. We ruled out Ferrari after that showing in practice, but we spoke too soon with that one because Ferrari were able to respond. At a track that's normally not suited to them, they were able to take a brilliant pole position. I think Joseph Willows will be having a very good evening today after that result.
Yep, indeed. Will he get the win tomorrow? We'll have to wait and see. Well, of course, we're not commentating that tomorrow because we allowed George to do that for the highlights. We're not done with live streams though, because later on today you'll be hearing Rob's voice again, because of course we have the GP2 race at Budapest, which has Marek Kukelovic on pole position. Whether he'll be able to get his first win or not, we'll have to wait and see. But until then, I've been JW97.
And I have been Robert Ionescu, also known as Kaiser Bob.
We'll see you, Rob will see you later on for the GP2 race, but we'll see you tomorrow at 5 PM BST for the 70-lap Hungarian Grand Prix. See you then.
And have a good one.